with the greatest tear out pack of all time.
What's up, everybody? My name is Danny Ferrari.
My name is Parker Immense.
We are Excellent Sound, and we are back with another banger video. It is officially tear out season, my friend.
Tear out season, dude. Gunshots in the chat, bro.
Gunshots
Machine
in the chat.
guns.
That's right. We're going over.
Ratata. Ratata.
We're going over our best gunshot tips. If you guys didn't catch our last video on our sustained bases, banger video. We just dropped the pack out of nowhere. Tear Out Volume 2, 120 SERUM presets, tons of one-shots, basses, drum loops, anything you guys can think of as far as making tear out and dubstep, we got you. So these are some of our best tips, our best tricks that we've never shown you guys before. We use these a lot in making the pack, and I think you guys are really gonna learn something from this. It's really, really helpful and actually pretty easy when it comes to making these type of basses. Some go-to stuff as far as just fundamentals about tear out gunshot basses, okay? You guys, the sound design in tear out is so sick. You guys will be able to have so much fun with this. We can't wait to show you. Let's jump into it. And for those of you that are looking for a project file on our Patreon, you guys can go right now in the link in the description and you guys can check out all of our demo drops that we made for Tear Out Volume 2. We have the project file for them and all of you guys. So make sure you guys go do that. It helps out the channel a ton. We appreciate it. Subscribe, like, comment. Let's get into the video.
Let's jump in, dude.
I don't got time for this.
That was beautiful. That was a great intro. That was a great intro.
Friendship.
Yep.
Okay. One thing that's really cool about this tear out pack that we haven't done is we actually went through and we bounced out so many one shots and actually categorized them for you guys as far as gunshots, long shot bases, and just like regular bases. And that's how the presets are too. So with Tear Out Volume 2, you guys are getting a nice little sneak peek into it right now, okay? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna open up Tear Out Volume 2 and we're gonna open up the one shots folders. It's really, really cool to be able to go through and open these all up, and we went ahead and categorized them individually as far as what type they are. So we're gonna go through some of the one shots right now. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a really nice gunshot or something with a lot of tone, but not too much like pitchiness, because pitchiness can mess up, because we're basically gonna be dragging this in and bringing it into a wavetable. I mean, these are insane. If it has too much effects too, that's kind of not good because we want to edit that out. I'm gonna go ahead and look for something just like kind of aggressive. These are so sick.
These are really dope.
We're really proud of them. A lot of the loops we made in this are using these actual sounds. And actually, if you open up Tear Out Volume 2 in general, another thing we did, which is kind of cool, is we went ahead and we actually categorized all of the presets too by types. So we have some gunshot basses. I mean, you can argue some of these might be more gunshotty than not. You guys can, whatever you want to do. But this is kind of what we thought best, because it's nice to just go specifically for what you're looking for. So yeah, out of the 120 presets, I mean, there's so much in here. This is so awesome. Sustained basses. So yeah, we got a ton of awesome one shots here. I'm gonna choose this one because I know this is what I'm looking for. This little yoink right here, yoinks work out really well. Super mean.
I feel like it's because it's a little longer, right? And there's more action in the texture.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's not too much. It gives me room to sort of mess with it, right? Because I don't want it just playing back, because essentially what we're going to be doing is essentially putting it into SERUM and sort of making it like it's a sampler. But let's go ahead and grab this one out. And then in an initialized SERUM, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this new one shot that we just grabbed out. Sometimes this works. It doesn't work with all of them. I don't know why that is, like, because even if it sounds like similar, just sometimes it doesn't work. But I'm going to go ahead and drag this into frame size pitch average. The actual what this does, I could tell you, but I don't know, because I think Virtual Riot does. So just ask him, because he probably knows.
Yeah, tag us, tag him, you know.
There's all these different algorithms, but that seems to be the best when I'm dragging in just like a one shot. Okay, now that we have that, let's go ahead and set it down to -2 for the octaves. Nice. That's sounding nice. That's kind of what we're looking for. All right, now let's go ahead and make our first LFO, and let's make it an envelope and sort of make it just a down sort of triangle wave like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and push the wavetable all the way forward, and I'm gonna add that LFO to that wavetable. That's what you want. You want it to play back and sound like it. Sometimes you'll pull them in automatically, and without even doing anything, you should be able to hear some type of resemblance to the original sound. Now, don't worry, we're gonna get this to sound completely different at the end. So now that I got this, this is a great, see, this did a great job of actually processing it, because look, I can just select this one. I can easily see that the rest of these lines aren't really being used, because that's the end of the actual audio clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and add remove selected to end. Now we're sort of kind of getting an idea here. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go ahead and go to morph, and you're gonna crossfade. What this does is this crossfades each individual frame. Because when you drag it into SERUM, what it does is it chops it up into little pieces, and you need that sort of crossfade to sort of make it cleaner. Hard to really tell, but it really helps when it's cycling through the wavetable.
Would be sick if Ableton had a batch crossfade.
You gonna bring it up again, dude?
Have
12
to.
came out.
12
No
came
batch
out,
fade.
no batch fade.
We're really happy though. Ableton 12 is pretty sick so far. Definitely a better update than 11, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure it is.
Okay, so now that we got that, we crossfade it. Now what we want to do is process these. You're going to normalize each grain separately or max from all frames. I don't know what the difference is. Choose whatever feels best, but essentially it's just going to make everything louder. It's going to normalize the actual sound. Nice.
I think the second one, it matches it to the highest clip. It normalizes it to the highest clip.
Okay,
and then
Parker
the first
coming
one,
with the nugs?
That's what I'm guessing. Because look, go back. See, look, normalize each gain separately.
Oh.
And then normalize same. It's probably
Max
normalizing
from all frames.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I'm just reading.
I like that,
I'm just reading.
You got great reading skills.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. All right, now that we got that, it should be sounding something like this. But here's where we're gonna change it and make it a little bit more interesting. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add an oscillator B. I'm gonna choose a saw wave. And I'm gonna set this down. We're gonna start with -2 at first. And I'm gonna turn the level all the way down on this. And I'm gonna go ahead and set this to FM from B. Now there's a bunch of different algorithms that we can do. We can do AM from B, we can do RM, and I'll show you a little bit about both. For this sound, we're gonna choose FM. And let's go ahead and sort of bring this in. Now, because it's set to the same octave, it's not gonna sound like it's adding a lot of different harmonics because the octaves are sort of low. So what I like to do is I like to use sync at this point, and now I can sort of dial in the sound the way that I like it. So I'm gonna put FM from B, and let's go ahead and use sync. Maybe even go up one octave. Nice. Not too much though, you see it starts to get dirty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make an envelope that sort of just kind of pushes the FM forward, up and through. Just a quick little ramp like so. I'm gonna set that to envelope. I'm gonna put that on the FM and I'm gonna put it right to the sweet spot. Nice, make sure it's set on envelope. And then let's go ahead and add another quick little trick for gunshots is adding a little bit of release on the main envelope. But because we have that, if I just play this sort of oscillator by itself, we get that last little, right? Because it's stopping at that very last frame. So what we want to do is we want to create a separate envelope for this oscillator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of sort of make something like this. This is kind of like a good gunshot bass if you guys are kind of wondering. Something like this, like a ramp, set that to 8th. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the level. Nice. And you could dial this in. We're gonna put a macro on this later and sort of be able to sort of change the sound a little bit. And with the release, it's really nice. Now let's go ahead and turn that oscillator back on. If you're not liking the saw, you can also try a triangle or a sine wave too. See how it's adding that extra bit of harmonic? And also too, you could do a lot of stuff too, like messing with the semitones. Just dial it in where it feels right. Let's go ahead and add a filter. Now, this first filter, I'm gonna try to use just the regular MG low 12. I want this to essentially push the sound and sort of give it an aggressive sort of gunshot feel. And you can do that with a low pass filter. You're gonna lose some of your highs, but we're gonna bring that back in, so don't worry. I'm gonna go ahead and use this main shape envelope that we made here, and I'm just gonna put this on the cutoff. And you can dial that in how you see fit. It's creating that extra punch, which is really nice. Okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and add a little bit of processing. I'm gonna add some distortion. I'm gonna add some drive, just regular tube. Yeah. Multi-band compression, turn the gain up. Cool thing about multi-band that I'm gonna come back to and sort of explain about shaping the sound. Remind me to come back to that because there's something really cool about multi-band that I've been figuring out lately. And then maybe a little bit of hyperdimension. Turn the mix down and sort of just a little bit of mix to add just a little bit of width to it. Now, it wouldn't be a gunshot if we didn't have some type of master pitch modulation. This is essential when you guys are making gunshot basses. Also, just great for just basses in general. This is like kind of the trendy thing to do, I feel like. I don't know if it's like trendy, but sort of make a pitch envelope like this with LFO4, put it on an envelope, and then go ahead and set that to the master tune in the matrix. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna set that to 18 and make sure it's going forward, not both ways.
You know what I really like about what you just did is you did the master tune trick at this step.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I put it on too early and it's like messing with the sound. It's messing with my decisions of where I'm going.
That's a good point. Yeah. We're trying to get punched before.
Exactly. I think this is a really good step to put master tune on.
Yeah. I think what you're saying too is like, you don't want to use the master tune as your main punch. Although like the master tune pitch envelope, you can, but like if you can get there before without it, then that's just an extra thing you can sort of add to dial in.
Yeah, you don't have to like dial it in so much.
Exactly. Yeah. So now that we got this, it's going to come together when we start putting a sub on. So let's go ahead and add just a nice clean sine wave. Set that down to -2. Nice. Hey, we're doing something really special for all of our patrons right now. If you guys go to our Patreon, you guys can go ahead and get the entire project file of all the drop mashups that we made for TEAROUT Volume 2. There's like 6 drops in there. There's insane sounds. Of course, it's got a lot of sounds from the pack. If you guys want to make sure you guys go and check that out. Link is in the description as always. It really helps out the channel and supports us a ton. And we promise you guys won't be disappointed. Now, some other ways to get sort of these like lasery sounds that you can kind of do. You can go ahead and use this unison. This is another trick. Add a little bit of unison and then turn the random all the way down, right? And then add some detune. Mess with the blend. Kind of gives it like a little bit of laseriness.
Yeah, and space.
Yeah, kind of a cool little trick that you can kind of do with that. I'm gonna take the sub to not go through the filter. I'm gonna try to see what that sounds like. Not bad. Okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and start coloring the sound. We're gonna start using a filter, okay? So I'm gonna use, now there's different types of filters that you can use, but I'm gonna show you kind of the go-to ones. Comb is like very popular. You can use a comb filter. Already starts to sound like TEAROUT. Right, I'm gonna choose, I really like the comb minuses and the comb pluses. With a little bit of low cutoff and a high resonance, you can get some really cool sounds. I'm gonna dial this drive back a touch. Now you're starting to see it sort of just come together. And you can also use the hyperdimension to get that sort of phasiness by adding just a little bit more size. Now you're starting to see it come together, right? Now, I kind of mentioned this before, but just a quick little sidetrack thing. If you want to use different things like AM's a little bit cleaner, I kind of feel like. Let me bypass this real quick so I can kind of show you. Even that's super cool.
More lasery.
Yeah, and RM especially. I mean, I'm not mad at that. Maybe we leave that.
Yeah.
We're not sounding like that original gunshot anymore. We're in a whole new territory now. And if you're feeling like it's like too bouncy, you can sort of dial in this pitch envelope here. Right, that sounded pretty cool. And then the resonance too. Less laser, more laser. And let's go ahead and actually, let's add this back in. Let's see if this is cool with the RM. And then you could dial in the sync how you see fit. If you want it darker, you can start to hear the different tonality and different sort of harmonics that are sort of being brought in. Right, and then our main shape, we can dial this in a bit more. Nice, okay, now here is the big thing that people sleep on, I think. Or maybe they know, maybe they don't. But the chorus is your best friend when making TEAROUT. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it before the multi-band compressor so it sort of like brings it all out. But the trick in for dialing choruses, it kind of creates this like anthemic feeling to it. I feel like it puts it in like you're in an arena or something, right? It's almost like a reverb, but it's a really short delay. The way I dial this in is I'll turn the mix all the way up, turn this low pass filter all the way up too. start messing with the rate. Rate all the way down or rate all the way up. And then your main sort of thing of dialing in is gonna be this depth knob and this feedback. Delay, I'll try to put them a little bit later. Now it sounds kind of like, oh, a little bit more chunkier, right? Yeah. Now we're getting a little bit more sort of darker, which is nice. But changing the depth will change that. And if it's too much, just dial it back like halfway. I think what I'll also try too, sometimes maybe it's like too much, you can put it after the multi-band compressor. Another thing I really like to do is I like to put a macro on the depth of the chorus to sort of dial this in wherever I see fit. That sounded real nice. And then of course, let's go ahead and add a little bit of character with like a high pass sort of growl sort of shape. We want it to be really quick, so we're gonna use this main envelope right here. And we're gonna kind of create a little bit of chomp by essentially creating a high pass filter right here, frequency around there. And then adding a notch too can be super cool. Sort of put it where it sounds best. And you can dial that in how you see fit. That gives it more of that sort of vocally sound. And if you wanted to have more body too, bring this frequency down a touch. Mainly that this sub right here is going direct out. This is sort of allowing this sub to be separate and then allowing these sort of wavetables and sounds to be able to be manipulated, but keeping your sub clean. I like the way that's sounding. Also too with the filters, like Cone Plus is super sick too. More springy if you want, or if you want it to be less, you know, just turn down the resonance. Also try like just moving them around past different things. Before distortions, after distortions, you can get a lot of different stuff. Nice, I'm liking the way that's sounding. And then lastly, let's go ahead and add a little bit of reverb, kind of a shorter reverb, size down, decay down, mix down, and low cut up.
Kind of for vibe.
Yeah, it creates that sort of arena that we're talking about. Already sounding super sick. You guys can dial it in. I really like the metallic sort of sound. Some people don't really like that. So if you want it drier, just sort of dial these back in.
I think something to mention too is those springy sounds. It's hard to hear that when you're doing a fast 16th gunshot rhythm.
Yeah, good
so
point.
If it's a little slower, you can actually hear it and it sounds a lot better.
True.
You know? And if you're going really fast, maybe you dial that back down.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you put that on a macro.
Or like I was mentioning before, is messing around with the multi-band compressor. If you actually just mess with the release knob and turn it down, that's gonna bring it out more. If you turn it up, that's gonna clean it up a bit. And then also
essentially using that like a gate.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, essentially, because the compressor is holding on to it.
Yeah.
Adjusting this too, you could put a macro on this, like sometimes I'll put a macro on that. And that's pretty much it as far as getting a whole new sort of one-shot sound. And then now that you have this, you could take this, drag this out, bam, now you got a new wavetable. That's really nice that you can sort of mess with. Beyond that, let me show you another little, this is like a little bonus clip. Thank you guys for staying through the video with us. If you guys enjoyed that, this will be in the download description for free. We got this whole preset for you. But another really cool bonus trip, I keep saying trip.
I know, you're tripped out.
I'm tripping out, dude.
Yeah.
A cool bonus trick that you can do is using the noise oscillator like a sampler. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna choose a really, really cool sort of sub sustain bass for the noise oscillator. I know of one specifically that I want to use. Let's go through a couple of these. These are nasty.
That's crazy.
We already passed it, but I wanted to show some people. So.
Yeah.
So sick. Right? Okay, so
dope.
I'm gonna use something like this BBL.
The BBL crusher.
Yeah. Really like sort of papery sub. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drag this into my noise oscillator and make sure noise is turned on. You have to have that on. That's a little pro tip. Okay, now let's go ahead and play this. And I'm gonna turn the sub off. Set this to direct out. Now you wanna make sure that if you're doing this, you get the pitch right. So a way of doing that is sort of turning off oscillator A and oscillator B. Maybe turn oscillator B back on so you can get the correct pitch. Turn the level up, turn this off. That seems to be working just fine. Okay, turn this back down. Kind of nice. And then you can also put key tracking on, but that's going to change the pitch, so you're going to have to refine it. You can throw that into the filter if you want to. Or if you just want the sub back, you bring that back in, turn this off, and or actually maybe don't have it go direct out. Maybe it's layered and going through all the processing too. But also you're gonna wanna have the same envelope as this because this is a longer sustain bass, so it's just gonna keep playing out. And because we have the release, so I'm gonna want it to sort of match it to that. So I'm gonna put the level on that. Now we're layering basses in SERUM.
Nice, it's doing some really nice movement too.
Yeah, triangle waves also work great. And just hit it super fast. That's how you gunshot, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys learned something. Again, TEAROUT Volume 2 is available now. 120 SERUM presets, 170 bass one-shots.
Nuts.
A ton of bass loops in here too. We did bass loops, guys. Those are a pain in the ass to make. So hopefully you guys are picking that up and enjoying it. Let us know what you guys are making with it. The drums are insane.
Yep.
We got cool little snare enhancers. A couple little extra special things we did with this pack. We're super
really
proud
sick.
of it. If you guys want to support us on Patreon, you guys can do that. The link is in the description. We got a whole project file of all the demo drums.
I do want to mention something about this video. So do you remember the old video that we did where we sampled a Zomboy one shot and we put it into SERUM? And
yes.
So this is like the upgraded version of that.
2024 edition.
It's the 2024 edition. And first off, it's smarter and it's cleaner.
Yes.
Because you're using a pure signal.
Definitely.
You're not using like an overmastered sound, you know? That could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But this, I think, is way cleaner.
I think so too.
You're coming from a really nice sample pack. You're dragging it in and it just sounds better instead of resampling an overmastered kind of song.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know if you guys want to see more. We got a ton more TEAROUT content.
Oh, I can't wait, baby. I can't wait.
You guys love the TEAROUT. We love the TEAROUT too.
Rub your hands, dude.
Rub the hands.
Just wash it with TEAROUT.
Wash yourself. Wash your bits with TEAROUT. Thank you guys again. We'll see you the next time. Peace.
Later.